High School there coming up Saturday. More from John Lawrence.
Dean Phillips with the FBI in Denver says Sol Pais arrived in the Denver area Tuesday after making an unspecified threat that caused a number of Colorado schools to go on lockdown.
What's up, y'all? Take a moment to share the broadcast. All right, let's get this thing cracking. Okay, how y'all feeling this morning? What up, son? Take a moment, share the broadcast, y'all. I'm going in today. I'm letting y'all know. I'm looking at these D2s, and man, I ain't got all the way through them, but just looking at Tony Preckwinkle's D2s, it's a lot of people that need their ass kicked. And quite frankly, I'm about to let some people have it today, just because it's like part of the whole thing that I feel like is everybody's a goddamn political expert now, and we have outsourced our, like, explain to me how a preacher made over $150,000 on the campaign. That's a lot of goddamn money for a preacher. $150,000, huh? On this campaign right here.
By itself.
Yes, and not even the whole, just from January through the. But it's like it's these Negro preacher pimps that be around here. They running around.
No, I take it back. I don't blame them. I blame the fools that are giving it to them.
Exactly. But again, it's like you got all of these people with no real political acumen that get to make the decisions. So you see almost $2 million went to white folks, right? Then you look at the thing and then you see the niggas get the preacher walk around money. And then you give it to the preachers who ain't got nobody. They ain't never worked the precinct. They ain't never won nothing. They just get people running around. You know what? Why looking at that report, bro? I only got through like 10 pages and I was just like, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
This is disgusting.
Explain to me how somebody from Detroit is calling the shots in Chicago.
No, I never understood that.
So right now, like yesterday I went to Kim's thing. Bro, I'm so like, first of all, let me say much love to the people in Kim's camp who are starting to get it. But for real, our political community is being disserviced by a bunch of out-of-towners and a bunch of fake political gurus who have never been battle tested. And I'm just telling you, it showed. 20 freaking precincts. 20. Think about this. If you divide $150,000 into 20, what's that, Todd?
Oh, shit. 120,000.
All clear. 1, 2,
6?
divided by, what I said was,
You say 120,000 divided by 20?
yeah,
Yeah, it's like 60 or something like that. 6 something.
20 divided by, 120,000 divided by 20 equal. Them punks got paid $6,000 per precinct.
Yeah.
Think about that. $6,000 per precinct. And
Yeah.
I
That kind of money, I don't win one of them.
dang. So do you imagine what it would cost to win an award with these people?
At that rate.
It's like
You have to be J.B. Pritzker.
I'm so disgusted. Right, and that. But can I tell you what? The J.B. Pritzker campaign, with infinite amounts of money, had people walking around here like they was some champions. Do y'all understand? Y'all ain't do shit. Y'all didn't. You did not. Preachers, pimps, and all of that stuff did not get JB over the top. JB spent $200 million. He spent presidential money on a governor's race, and you got all these people that got paid to do nothing, and then left there, and then tried to pimp that to go into Tony's campaign. Like, hey, bro, for real, they paid Dane $200,000 too. Tucker. Yes, you know Dane. Tactical Solutions. You know Dane.
I have to see him. Right?
And I ain't even tripping on them. Get y'all money. But like, for real? Y'all got paid $170,000 and y'all didn't win no precincts? Todd, in what world does that exist? Well, in what world is that acceptable? Like, I woke up... only in the black world. Could you imagine those expenditures? What you think it costs Madigan to win a precinct? Free 99. Well, probably a bunch of jobs. But, like, these people still have jobs.
Right.
They are still working. Like, explain to me how. Explain to me. I'm telling y'all now. I'm going off today. And you know, they all. So now, see, what happens is, they find these Negroes to pacify us. What's in it for the black people can't be you give the money to... Oh, my God. I'm telling y'all I'm in rare form this morning. And walking around Kim's fundraiser event yesterday, it just pissed me off. Yes.
Hear about Georgetown University?
Yes.
I've been trying to get the guy on that did it. Todd somebody was student advisor or something like that. Did you want to talk to him if I can get him on? And back again.
Not today, but yeah, I mean, it's something we could do definitely. That's an 8 o'clock something national. I just feel like we gotta get that stuff like when it happens.
Yeah, it was 5 days ago. Right. I can't get nobody to return.
You got the.
46 in check. 46 at midnight.
Sorry.
I guess I can't get quite as excited as me. I guess I've seen enough people get paid for not having to really deliver.
The views expressed on our programs are not necessarily those of WVON.
Talking about how good
Midway Broadcasting Corporation.
With no wins, no nothing. Like, seriously. Explain to me Alex Sims. Explain that. So they just decided they was gonna pick a chick and just pick a woman and just put her on. Like, you from Detroit. And then you look at the fundraiser yesterday and you see it play out. Again, all of these people have won on wave elections, right? So then they get to primp and stimp around. But yesterday, if you looked at that event, right, Kim is getting her ass kicked, and you put the same Negroes in the room.
Yeah, you need a different.
You need to be appealing to other people, and it's like I'm so disgusted with what they have done to black people politically in this city. We have been politically emasculated. We have no defense. And it's like nobody has invested in really building an apparatus. And so what happens is all of these groups go find a bunch of people off the street that they put out and show big numbers, but no action. So if certain people come knocking at your door, you ain't opening the door for them. But again, can I tell you this? Ain't nobody even knocking on no doors. Did I wake up on fire this morning? Yeah, I woke up on fire. I shouldn't even look at them D2s this morning. That number just jumped off the page to me, and I was like, wait, you gave a preacher $150,000 to do field? Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the WVON Morning Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, Todd Stroger, in the building. Todd, how you feeling this morning?
Excellent, great day.
You having a great day, Todd? All right. I'm going to tell you, man. It is a good day. I'm going to tell you. So, you know I'm a political junkie. And as a political junkie, you know, yesterday was one of those big days where you get to get a peek inside the campaigns to see where their money went. Because actually it's the day, this is an education moment.
I remember yesterday you saying, is it D2 time?
Is it D2 day? And you know what, I was checking because I was making sure that the What's in It for the Black People D2 got in. Because y'all know we have a PAC, Political Action Committee. And if you don't know, it's the day that, yesterday was the day that everybody has to turn in their reports for the first quarter, which lets you know what they spent what these campaigns spent their money on. And I'm going to tell you, looking at these numbers, Todd, the game has changed. The game has changed, and I am now 100% convinced that we have been politically emasculated. When you look at the you know what, I'm going to spend some time a little bit later breaking down the D2s and what they mean and what they read. But in case you don't know what D2s are, you can check them out at the Illinois State Board of Elections. You can check out how much money was given, how much money was spent by every campaign. And we'll talk about it all. But you know what, let me do this. Let me say what's up to the WVON Morning Show team. What's up to Annette Flournoy in the newsroom. Annette, how you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling great. I have really good news. The city's going to be working officially on the potholes.
This,
you know, those big boulders that we have to dodge coming in, you know, driving like an obstacle course on the roads. Yeah.
So they just now getting started.
They're going to start filling them
I-
up. Today's the official start.
Today is the official start. Did you all, speaking of that, did you all see the story of that young brother in Michigan, little black kid who was out, whose mama went through a pothole, and after she busted up her car and had all them repairs, he started digging up dirt in people's yards and filling in potholes in his neighborhood. Like he had a bucket of garbage can and put dirt in the potholes until the city got there. Young black man. I thought that was pretty. I thought, you don't see that out of black kids. Not out of black kids. Out of kids these days.
You're making a difference. I mean, see, something happened to his mom, and he was making a difference.
Yes. And so, but hopefully,
That's stepping up in a major way.
that is stepping up in a major way. We need more of our young people like that. Can I also say, Ron, the least you can do before you get up out of here. You know, we're gonna have to call Ron before we get up out of here. And we're gonna have to tell Ron about the potholes. Y'all, do we need to call Ron and give him a farewell call?
Or maybe a list of things that he needs to wrap up.
You know what? I say we could just give him. He could leave early if he wants to.
Oh, yeah.
We could just say, you know how you just be like, yeah, just be like, pick up your stuff, go. Hey, so let me say what's up to the rest of the WVON Morning Show team. Gotta say what's up to my man Titus. Titus, how you feeling this morning? Ah, you ready, huh?
Good morning, man. How you feeling today?
All right, good. Titus got it together. You know, I was a little hot yesterday, y'all. Y'all know when I came in, I'll get my intro. You know, I'm a very pattern person, so I need this to be sitting here, this to be here, make this go. And yesterday I didn't get my intro, but you know, my man Titus came through for the rest of the show, made it happen. So I gotta say what's up to him. He is sitting in for the musical conductor of the Soul Plane. Gotta say what's up to Sonia Tompkins. She is my super producer. And Todd, let's get this show on the road. The aldermanic races were finally announced yesterday, and I think they're gonna. When are they declaring them today? Are they going to officially call them today, I believe? So, I believe Will Calloway came up approximately 127 votes short.
Yeah, just didn't quite make it.
But think about this, Todd. First of all, I want to send a big shout out to William Calloway. Congratulations to Alderman Leslie Hairston. But she should be very, very, very concerned. Like, she probably is looking for. I heard a rumor that part of the reason that one of these people came up jumping out and snapping off was because one of the former state representative candidates who was vociferously advocating against Will Calloway, who tried to turn the gay issue into a big deal, is angling to get the appointment. And that, is it possible? I heard that maybe the 5th Ward Alderman is looking to become a judge because she does not want to go through this again. Now, that's just a rumor. I'm not saying that's the truth. I'm saying, but I did hear it. And so it made...
Rumors, that's how we're supposed to live.
How did rumors get started? Started by the jealous people, and they get messy. Something they had and somebody else is holding. So, but shout out to Will Calloway, because for $25,000 compared to $250,000. Think about that.
Yeah, man, that's amazing.
Will spent $25,000. Leslie spent $250,000. He's 127 votes short. I called Will and I said, man, if you could get the last amount of money, if he would have had one more mail piece, a compare and contrast piece that hit the mailboxes, I think he would have got those 127 votes. I also think that what we have been sleeping on and what we need to start doing is to start coming up with a vote by mail campaign. Like, it's no longer the absentee ballot program.
Right.
People are like, there needs to be a paradigm shift. But I think that that's part of what I'm talking about, Todd. We got all these people that are pretend political and have never been battle tested. And so basically, and then the game has changed. So you know how people hear what you're talking about, then they go try to do that?
Yes.
But they haven't ever done it. So then they got an absentee ballot program in a time when it's now vote by mail and it's an option. I just think that black people looking at these D2s, just looking at the molly-whopping D2 and only getting 10 pages out of 100 and something in, I was like, well, here's your problem. You can see problems right there on the page. So look, it's where you put your money, it's where you put your mouth. We'll talk about it all when we come back. It's the Talk Chicago 1690. Maze Jackson, Todd Stroger. We got traffic and weather. We'll be back.
Show with Maze Jackson coming up on the Talk of Chicago 1690 WVON.
It's hard doing the WVON Morning Show. I got demands. So y'all better tell them to wake up.
So you're right though. The whole thing where you get a guy and he says, I got all these people, you're going to talk to them. Well, that crowd is not what you need now. You need to talk to the crowd that ain't on your side, who's not voting, who isn't in your pocket or their pocket. It's more about outreach than just getting the regular folks and rallying.
Who you going to outreach to if you from Detroit? Who you know?
You know some people in Ypsilanti, and you know some people, and what else is out there? But no, I'm with you. I don't see why people don't concentrate on hiring people who not only know their area, but they have a specific job. I think right now it's just the old ways don't work because we got so many new voters. So your thing is, how do you reach these new people who are popping up in your areas, especially if we're talking about citywide or countywide? You have to expand your base. You got to figure out how to do it. And I just don't think that some of the people whose responsibilities that we've seen in some of these past elections, they're not coming through. And it's just because it's an old format that it's not going to work, because you got to talk to different folks. I mean, I think black people are a gigantic part of the Democratic Party, but with that, how are you going to reach the other people? How are you using technology? How are you, as Maze just said, this vote by mail is a big thing. I think my wife was like, all right, I don't ever want to go to the polls again. And I wouldn't be surprised if my son would be feeling that same way too.
And the voter turnout is going to go up because of that, as people do it, because they could sit there, boom, 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 drop that sucker in the mail, and you ain't going to never see them at a polling place. You ain't going to be able to hide them people to stand outside and hit them.
Right, and I think we already see it, because we see an uptick in these wards that are north of 22nd Street. Like I said before, they used to always be behind the black wards. So if we got 40%, they do like 32%. Well, now they're voting, and I think it's as May's statement, because voting becomes so much easier. It's a whole new different crop of people. So it's not that they're putting in more votes; they're voting at a higher rate than they used to. So the world's changed. We got to change with it. I remember telling Mays before that I tried to bring some technology to the black committeemen when I was the county board president, but no one, I mean literally, no one was interested. Nobody wanted to talk to the young guy who knew all what the world was doing at that time, and I was paying for him. And you know, the way you run your office is the way you're going to be successful, and how people will notice you. So we just got to change our paradigm and realize this is a different world. We also need new allies. That's another subject.
We need new allies. We gotta explode. I'm telling you now, we gotta kick all this black progressive stuff out of the party. Like all these people that built their whole world around these Tony Preckwinkle created fake black progressives that think was so happy to be with the white folks up north, and they just showed them y'all still Negroes. Y'all still some. Says so then. It's very hard to resist. These freaking women, oh, they just persist. What the business, please don't miss. All these rumors surrounding me every day. I just need some time to get away. Oh, from all these rumors, I can't take it no more. Griffin said, what about me and the girl next door? About some say she's just too loose. Came straight from a guy who claims he's tasted her juice. Hear that one about Michael? Some say he must be gay. I tried to argue, but they said if he was straight, he wouldn't move that way. Woo! What about Susan? Some say she's just a tease. In a camisole, she's 6 feet tall. She'll knock you to your knees. Oh, look at all these rumors surrounding me every day.
Sometimes you get away.
Oh, from all these rumors, I can't take it no more. Westman said, what I got about me and the girl next door. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Mays Jackson. Got my man, Todd Stroger. Hey,
You know, this is the second radio station I actually worked for. I worked for WYLD in New Orleans.
WYLD.
But only for like a month in the summer. But I met the
Foster and McElroy?
No, is this Time Make Social Club?
Yes, this is Time Make Social Club.
No, I didn't meet them. Club Nouveau.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Remember they broke up.
Yeah.
And then you know that's the same group that then eventually made.
All screwed up. Yeah.
They eventually made Invo.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Foster McElroy. So check this out. It's the WVON Morning Show. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. My man Titus trying to fill in for Sonia Escobar. He doing all right there.
All right.
All right. Now check it out. So Todd, let me ask you a question. I don't know if you saw this op-ed that was in the paper this morning. I think it was Alderman David Moore. Shout out to Alderman David Moore. I saw him yesterday at the Kim Fox event too. David Moore, Alderman Michael Scott, what's the new black alderman from the north side that beat Joe Moore?
Oh, it's a lady.
It's a lady. We'll figure out. Get her, Sonia, get her name. Anyway, they all and Byron Sigcho Lopez, Democratic Socialist.
Who won here in 25?
Yeah. They got behind Amara Inya and wrote a op-ed and are now calling for an aldermanic training class. Is Amara a new leader in the city council?
Amara who?
Amara Inya.
How?
So that's I want to bring this
How would
up.
that happen?
So So here's what I'm not sure of, right? So I'm 100% in agreement that there needs to be training class for aldermen. I thought there was a training class for aldermen, but apparently there's not.
Yeah, apparently I don't think I remember that.
So I think like the sergeant at arms comes in and says, you get this. They tell you you get an office allowance. They tell you the basic stuff, but they don't tell you how to run it.
Of course.
Because they want to keep you in the throes so that you can be in need. But I am not sure. Oh, it's Maria Haddon. Thank you, Tiger. Maria Haddon. I'm not sure how the rest of the caucus, how the rest of black aldermen, or aldermen, period, will feel about being addressed. Do you understand what I'm saying here? So here's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about new young aldermen as well as experienced aldermen as they are trying to secure their place being led by someone outside of the city council, especially knowing how territorial aldermen are and they've already been reelected.
Now, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. So, what are you saying? Are you saying that Amara Inya is having a class for aldermen?
No. What Amara Inya wrote a op-ed in conjunction with David Moore, Byron Sigcho Lopez, Maria Haddon, and I think there's one more. Oh, and Michael Scott.
Right, Scott.
Saying that there needs calling for aldermanic training. Now, I am suggesting that while I think those two things should have been done separately, right? Like maybe Amara sends a letter, and then the caucus sends a letter that says, yeah, that's what we agree with that. I think when you put them together and the letter is penned by all of those people together, the first thing that any senior alderman with some rank is gonna be like, what? Even if it was a good idea.
Right.
You think you just lost, and you think you finna come in here and tell us what to do? So those 4 aldermen are gonna find themselves on an island.
Yeah. I don't think that's not a good move. Instead of doing something with the incoming mayor, you do something with someone who lost the election. I don't see that.
And so and while I recognize that we are going to take people want to take these new leadership roles, y'all got to understand that these people just got reelected. Like, so the new people who have little to no back, no money, probably may have jumped into this thing. I just don't know, unless Lori Lightfoot asked them to do that, right? I don't know how that plays out, knowing the egos of city council. You can dislike it or not, right? But at this point, everybody's been reelected. And could you imagine going to city council and said, could you imagine David Moore, Michael Scott, Byron Sigcho Lopez, and Maria Haddon walking through the halls of city council telling the aldermen that we need, with someone who's not from the city council, telling them that you all need to be trained?
Well, I can see a lot of them saying,
you know what they're going to say.
They'd be like, well, maybe she should get elected first. It won't be nice when you're trying to tell senior elected officials how they should do something.
And I think that my thing is that there's not a... So I think that we have roles inside of government and we have roles outside of government. I think that if that's a plan, then the four aldermen get together with Amara. She pins the letter, or helps them pin the letter, but she doesn't sign the letter.
No, it's their letter.
It's their letter saying we need it, right? Or we're new aldermen. But if you're not and you say that, like, it sounds good externally.
Right.
It really does. But you got to keep that up for 4 years. And then you're going to have the mayor saying, what you think, you running the council?
Well, then in a sense, this is a declaration that we are behind Amara Enya's agenda, whatever her agenda is.
Now, That is going to be a very interesting situation as we move into. So is there the Amara Caucus now?
Maybe.
Ooh, now that would be
Of course,
deep.
I wouldn't call it that. I'm sure they call it something else.
They call it not the progressive, but they can't call it the progressive.
This is the Progressive Social Democrat
Caucus.
You know, you gotta throw something on it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell y'all what, it's going to be they want to create a standing institution that would provide new aldermen with non-political, expert-led training on policy and legislative procedure. So that right there,
I could use a new job.
can I tell you what though?
What?
The job of the alderman is to pick up your garbage. The job of the alderman is to keep your streets clean. See, this is the problem, right? This is how all these people be losing.
Read that again.
The job is to create a standing institution that would provide a new alderman with non-political, or in Chicago, expert-led training on policy and legislative procedure. Who's the expert? See, I think somebody making them a job right now. Is that going to be the executive director? That's how you make a job. Look, y'all, this is Talking Chicago 1690. We'll be back after traffic, news, and the weather.
More of the morning show with
Hey, bro,
coming up.
can I tell you what would happen? Can I just explain to you what happens when you bring that letter into the Black Caucus meeting? Can you imagine presenting that to, like...
Carrie Austin?
You know, that was the name I was going to say.
Yeah, I know.
Could you imagine... Could you imagine bringing that to Carrie Austin?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, boy, that's a slap down.
And then, it's like... See, man, I just feel like the political world it's only in the political world that we live in right now that any shit like that could happen.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong. If they say, you know what, just like you said, if they say we are our own caucus or group or whatever they want to call themselves, and say there are certain issues that we think are important, we're going to stick together, then I think that's fine. I just have a feeling that that's not going to happen. I could be wrong.
You gotta have a stick to bring people together. Like, you either gotta have a carrot or a stick. If the second that a real vote comes up and you can't go behind the chambers and you can't, I like the concept.
Yeah.
I don't know if the execution is proper, and I'm just telling you. Could you imagine me writing up the laws, the rules of governance, and sending that to the Black Caucus and signing it and putting it in the paper and saying, this is what me and my 4 aldermen are gonna do? Do you know what would happen? You can pretty much guarantee that they ain't getting shit. Yeah. They will be standing alone.
Unless they're needed. Unless it comes to a point where we need these 4 votes. There's 4, right?
Uh-huh.
We need these 4 votes to get over the top, so we gotta give them something. So in that instance, if that happens, but you know, it's 50 people.
Right. So right now, I'm finding 4 white people who feel like they got left out, and I'm bringing them in, and now I'm not talking to y'all ass.
It's like when I was in Springfield, so there was 118 reps, and at the time, it varied between 67 and I think 64 Democrats. So, you know, Speaker could get a certain amount of Democrats, and he might even get a couple of Republicans to go with him. But in the Senate, they had small numbers they were dealing with. You couldn't have anybody leaving the boat. So the senators felt more empowered because you couldn't find 3 people over on the other side of the aisle. You might find 1, but you couldn't get enough to have a majority if 3 people held out at time. Shoot.
Let me tell you. I would tell you that the people that signed on that letter have the least seniority, right? So if you think about it, Byron, Sigcho, Maria Haddon all got elected this last term.
They don't have any seniority.
Mike Scott, David Moore are just finished their first term.
Right.
So now, if I'm 1 through 26 and the bottom 4, all I'm saying is, okay, 1 through 26, again, we sticking together. Or 1 through 30. Because if I'm 1 through, I'm going to do 1 through 30.
Yeah.
Be like, look, what you want, number 27, 20. These top 20 are getting these 12, 13 are getting committees. These are getting vice chairs. You get to pick these 3 things. You get to pick the people on these 3 things. Golly, I promise.
It's all about numbers. I mean, like you said before, it's all about numbers. If there was 12 of them, maybe now you're starting to make some noise. When I went to the House, the Republicans had won the Senate, and it had been Democrats for like 20 years or so. And there were 5 Republicans who stuck together and said, we want certain things from you, Pate Phillip. And he gave them everything they wanted. But they were 5 out of 30. So, you know, they had some clout. But when you're 4 people, you're not going to be able to, you can make some noise, but you can't make any change yet. At least not any substantive change. They may give you some window dressings, just like, hey, here, you take this and you can go play in the corner. But they're not going to do what you want. And if they do, I'll be shocked. And the seniors, they love telling you, I've been in the game, they love telling you, wait a minute, we know what we're talking about, you'll have your day.
Yeah, man, I just think I'm concerned that with everything going on and we still pushing this damn progressive ass bullshit ass agenda. Do y'all not understand these these white folks ain't coming? Do y'all understand that? Let me just be clear. That as much as the black folks ain't going to that socialist stuff, and it's like we ain't got time for that socialist bullcrap. We don't.
Hey, I'm all for it if there's some true allies to stick with you. But what we need
But
is allies.
But look, they was already 2 of them is already in the should already be in the camp.
Yeah, they should.
Why we gotta worry about David Moore and Mike Scott? They should be on the team with the caucus regardless.
That's right.
You get what y'all gonna go start? See, divide because you want to be the special Negroes. Stop being the special Negroes right now. We need some homogeneousness. Some homogeny.
I love you, Squarefish. I'm talking Squarefish to your baby.
Squarefish.
I'm talking love.
You are tuned into Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, Ty Stroger. That's him singing in the background.
I won this album at the Sigma party, the first party that the Greeks threw at Wisconsin that year.
At Wisconsin, of course you went, and of course you won because you was at the Sigma party. Everybody can't be a Sigma though, so you know we hold it. Then you had to go on take his third choice, but it's all good. You can't though. Well, all right, but you know what? Let's do this. Let's say what's up to the rest of the WVON Morning Show. I'm gonna take Mike's call in 1 second, but I want to get through just a couple more headlines real quick. How about Chicago launches a mural registry? You know, I used to live over near the Pilsen area, and everything was tagged. It was muraled up, and then people would come by and paint over it. And you'd be like, wait, that was supposed to be art.
Yeah,
well, now,
supposed to be art.
Right, so now, they even painted over Hebrew Brantley, and Hebrew Brantley is like one of the top dudes now. So Chicago's created a mural registry so that they will not come and destroy your murals. And I think it's pretty cool. I actually want to do a mural somewhere.
Well, you know, the city puts money together so people can do murals. I mean, they bring an artist, and he comes out and he helps, and then the community comes out, and I guess they paint inside the lines.
I want to come paint inside the lines. I want to paint my own. I'm going to have to talk to Alderman Burnett about trying to do that. You know, in the West Loop, we got murals everywhere, though. You see these, they be painting these murals on the wall in West Loop where it's like you standing between, you get angel wings, or you could be standing by. But I'm saying, I'm starting to see them pop up all over the north side. We need to...
You know, there's a program. There's literally a program. I don't know if they're going to do it this year, but they did it last year. You can pick an artist, and I mean, there's a ton of artists. So you actually figure out who's going to do your mural. Oh,
well, you know what? I'm about to figure that out and figure out a mural to do. All right, y'all. We need to make us a black mural with a black artist. Let's talk Chicago. Let's go to Joe Ferguson. You know, Joe came in here and talked all that smack. I forgot to ask him 2 things.
What's that?
One, he better not be trying to run against Kim Foxx. I heard that in the room. But then he talked about one part of the report, but didn't talk about all the other stuff. Did you see these people called in, they used their sick days to go on vacation and then got caught?
Oh, got caught.
What else did he say? You know what? Plus, this firefighter...
How do you get caught anyway? I want to know.
Facebook. You know, you be like, I'm
That's
sick.
right.
Think about this. I'm sick. Like, you know what? Do you know how many times employees use their sick days? I think that should be a real point of content, a point that people should recognize. So your sick days are when you are sick, not when you don't want to come to work. Now, in the case, most people
I knew a lot of people
that interchange those.
Not me, but I knew a lot of people who were like, "Why would I waste a sick day on being sick?"
Well, apparently that is what these people said as well. And then, you know, when you get on a cruise, though, it's hard not to Facebook. You know, you done got your beach body on and everything. They be like, I thought your arm was broken. But apparently it was 4 people at the OEMC. I wonder did they go on the trip together. Like, everybody went and they was all sick together. See, that's you know how people do. Hey, y'all. Did I mention to y'all that this is my 2-year anniversary?
Hooray!
This is my 2-year anniversary of being the solo host of the WVON Morning Show. Or when the name was changed to the Maze Jackson Show. So
it's been 2 years.
Yeah, it's been 2 years, man. How about that? I know, man. Time flies. How about this Saturday is 420? Todd, do you celebrate 420?
I don't know that.
Todd, you don't celebrate 420?
Obviously not.
You told to us that one time you got trapped in the car and your friend handed you a joint.
Oh,
and what 420 is April 20th, and it is the internationally recognized day of cannabis smokers. And so it's like you go to.
Why 420?
I don't. You know, somebody will have to explain that to me.
Yeah.
Somebody can let me know that history. But the other part is, yesterday Illinois released the first version of the Cannabis Bill. And it is very interesting. I'm gonna talk about that a little bit more because I do believe that this whole cannabis thing has created a fool's gold rush, right? So there's the green rush. We're gonna call it the gold rush. Was the gold rush back in the day in San Francisco? There is a new green rush coming. But do you remember during the gold rush, people kept coming up with fool's gold?
Yeah.
Right now, I believe that there is a lot of fool's gold being hustled in our community. And after reading the Cannabis Bill, it seems to me that we got a lot of people that are profiting off of the peripheral, but not really getting down to the nuts and bolts. Like, people are, you know how everybody wants to become a millionaire? So you know how you got these network marketing things starting to go on?
Yeah.
I am seeing this cannabis thing turn into a version of network marketing. I'm going to talk about it at 7:30 because I just think that our hopes and fears are being preyed upon right now by a variety of people. Remember I told y'all yesterday, it's 2 groups of people. It's the people that's advocating and the people that's getting paid. The people that's getting paid usually hire the advocates so that they can get paid.
Yeah, right. You need somebody to make noise.
They make the noise so that the people getting paid can get paid. And I just, looking at that bill yesterday, so much came out to me, so I'm going to talk about that. But let me go to this one. Todd, how about they've almost raised $500 million to repair Notre Dame already?
Oh, well, you know, Selma Hayek, it's not Hayek, right?
Selma Hayek?
Yeah, her husband threw in like $240 million.
Hey, man, Selma Hayek. What? Shoot. Anyway, I'm going to leave that alone.
He's ultra rich.
He's ultra rich. Well, apparently white people from all around the world, even some African princes, are rushing to throw money to save this historic building.
Well, you know, Christianity was a big thing in Africa. Half of the
continent?
Yeah, thanks. Are Christians, the other half are Muslims. So
they beat it into both of them. They beat that Muslim Islam in them, and they beat that Christianity into them. But it got me to thinking about white folks. So when Notre Dame Church burned down, people all over the world watched in horror as one of the world's treasures burned. No sooner was the fire put out, Todd, that people were rushing to give millions and millions of dollars. You just talked about one person.
People were crying while the place was burning. I mean, crying while they're watching it on TV, not
Yes.
like they were there.
Exactly. And then I saw everybody. I went to Notre Dame too when I went to Paris. But one of the things, it got me to thinking, like, all the affection. Now, mind you, this church has been through a couple world wars. It's done had some issues before.
I want to say it was built, my son gave me this. They started building it in 1100 something.
Right. So it's, what did they say, it was 800, no, 8, how many? Well, whatever it was, it's a real old.
It's like 800 years old.
That's older than the United States.
Right.
But
A couple of times.
it got me to thinking about Black Chicago. I know, you're like, Notre Dame? Black Chicago? You know what? When I saw them white folks on TV crying and boo-hooing, and then I saw all the money flying all around, got me to thinking about Black Chicago. You know, we talked about the Johnson Publishing building.
Yep.
We talked about the Defender building.
Right.
Todd, social media question of the day. What do black people in Illinois have that we would pay to save?
I don't think there's anything.
Dang, you was quick with that.
Well, it's just, you know, I don't know if you remember when the building at 35th in Michigan, I can't remember what they called it.
Rob Blagojevich tried to say that.
Yeah.
And then they whooped him on it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things, but we don't raise money like that for issues like that. I mean, we could raise money, but where would it go and who would it go to? And you know how black people are like, I ain't giving them my money.
So, Black Chicago, give me a call, 312-374-8130. What do black people have in Illinois that we would pay to save? Like, think about
In the
that.
hospital. Nobody wanted to say that.
Like, well, we would actually put our money to it. Like, if what could burn down and we'd be like, oh, no, that institution cannot go away. Is there anything in black... And then if you can't tell me that, then it really is an indictment on where we stand in this city, in this state. So, the city that was founded by a black man that elected the first black president, couple black mayors, we basking in history right now. This was the epicenter of black
senators.
Right. First black woman senator. You put the black man senator in since Reconstruction. Mm-hmm. And my question right now is, I want y'all to call me and tell me, 312-374-8130. What in Illinois would black people pay to save? What? What you got? Would you pay? I mean, well, we know we wouldn't save the Defender building because the white boys got that already.
Yep.
We know we wouldn't say, well, we ain't got nothing downtown. We wouldn't say the Ebony building because they sold that.
It's already gone.
What we got? What? Harold Lucas. What? That's one. Don't call us Uncle Tom's though. But Harold Lucas, somebody, call me, tell me, what does black Illinois, let me expand it for you. Illinois, what would you pay to save? You can't say it's Chicago State because y'all won't get them no money.
No, they're reaching.
So if it was a big old fire in Chicago, the state of Illinois caught on fire, what do black people have that we would be like, oh no, we got to say that? Give me a call, 312-374-8130. Answer the question when we come back. It's Talk Chicago 16. Now, if you tell me that their answer to that is nothing,
Queen Chapel?
no. Shit, they wouldn't say Tommy Dorsey's church. That's the historic church.
Oh, the Pilgrim on Indiana there?
Yep.
Or that Michigan?
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, the one that they got the sticks propping it up.
Yeah,
What do we have in Illinois that people would pay to save? I don't think people would pay to save, oh Lord.
I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that people think so much of. Maybe there was something that was attached to Harold Washington. I think
DuSable? Would black people give money to save DuSable now? Because they won't even be members. I'm not saying, what would you pay to save? What would be a tearjerker enough that black people would start shipping money?
I would think it would be Phillips High School.
What? You sound crazy.
I'm not saying it would happen, but Phillips High School would be a place. So many black people went through there.
He decided for you.
I ain't got no clue.
I don't know how I got here.
How much time I got?
Yeah, Phillips High School would seem to be a place that's, I mean, it's the first black high school in Chicago. A whole bunch of people went there, you know, big names. Yeah, that's all I can think of. You're right. We need some older heads to weigh in on this issue. I can't think of anything besides Phillips that comes to mind. I mean, it will be Phillips before DuSable, because it was there before DuSable. Maybe one of these churches, I mean, he's right. I mean, there wasn't a flooding of money for what was it, Tilburg? I remember going to that church many moons ago with my grandmother. She came up from Arkansas. My dad would take us to that church. She was Baptist. Yeah, well, that's a hard question, man. You know, most of the things I can think of weren't really things that were created for black folks. They were created for white folks, and black people came in. Yeah, we can't raise any money for the Regal Theater. Yeah. That's true. Man, this question is like calculus. This is hard. Mace just come up with a great question. Man, I'm stumped.
What?
You all know about Money Waters Home? How they were trying to tear it down?
Nope.
Yeah, I remember that was in the news.
Is that something to say?
No.
No?
Who knows about Muddy Waters Home? Where's it at? Nobody knows who.
Money Waters Home is in Bronze. Is it Bronzeville?
Ah, wait, you
I
know.
don't think so. It have to be.
Well, I'm just suggesting that
Sure
it probably is, but I'm just saying, like,
I remember.
bro, they ain't even keeping Bronze. They tried to tear down Bronze. Leave it up to the alderman. It wouldn't be no Bronzeville. She don't even want y'all to have a damn Bud Billiken parade.
She wants to stop the Bud Billiken?
She wants to move it to State Street so that it can die. You don't remember the year she tried to kill it and told them what they couldn't do, and it was over. The Bud Billiken parade was over by 11:40.
Yeah.
That's because she got the Marianos, and Mariano's like, hold on, you want us to stop selling shit for these stuff for these Negroes to come out here and dance and do these? Yeah.
My mother marched in the
Everybody marched in the Bud Billiken parade. That's what happened when you're not from Chicago and you don't understand it. So she from New York talking about some, well, I mean, what's the big deal? Yeah, we about to, I'm on fire this morning. I'm tired of a whole bunch of bull. Man, I'm telling you, going to that Kim Fox thing yesterday, I was like this. It was just the perfect example of where we sit. All of these important people sitting around drinking wine and having a party, but won't go knock on no doors.
Yeah, there's still nothing like touching the hand.
Right. No, but I'm saying it's like all the people in the room congratulating themselves about, we got you in this room at the whitest hotel downtown on a rooftop. Is that really what she needs to turn? And then it wasn't a fundraiser.
Okay.
It was just show up and show your support for Kim, because they ain't got nothing, because the political strategists ain't got no relationships. So y'all gonna have a party, which is, again, we keep falling back to this stuff that it's like when you've never had to literally go find your votes, then all you know how to do is throw these parties that become love fests. Oh, you're great, and so you walk around a room where everybody's cool, but how many of these people are gonna be activated to go and actually work?
The state's attorney does a lot of things. They have all these outreach programs for people who are victims of crimes and their families. I mean, there's things you can talk to.
And you're supposed to be people. You're supposed to be mobilizing, not having wine and cheese parties.
No.
But that's what you get when you ain't never really worked none and you ain't from Chicago. That's what I'm. Yeah. fake political consultants. You are tuned into Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, Ty Stroger. And look, I'm going to go through these phone calls. What do black people in Illinois have that we would pay to save? I'm going to go to the phone lines. Now, I got to talk to the real Mike O'Connor because you've been holding on. I don't know if you got one for me on this one, but go ahead, Mike. You on Talk Chicago?
Hey, good morning. I got a whole bunch. Your boss saved Hell's Franciscan. I would pay to say that saved again.
Okay.
They didn't save it 2 or 3 times. St. Elizabeth was saved. St. Dorothy's was saved. We have a number of historical black institutions in this city that have been saved.
No. I said, well, that black people, if it was going down right now, black people would pay to save it. Black people.
I think it depends on which institution that they feel dear to. I would say that I would pay to save my church. I go to Christ Universal Temple. That's the largest church, or one of the largest here in the city. I think that it depends on their interest, but I actually called because I know you know that aldermen are legislators. And because they're legislators, they're supposed to already be trained walking in the door, at least in some of the processes. I remember hearing Cliff Kelly talk about him training people and other people training him. So the new people that come in, you know, you're right about they're not going to take as far as the advice from somebody that lost, but somehow they have to be trained so that we as communities, we as wards, people who are constituency, will get what they're supposed to have down at City Council. And that's my comment for today.
Thanks, Mike. You know what I think should happen? So I'm not against the training.
And you know, for some reason, I think there is training.
I feel like there's training too. I just don't.
A long time for it, but I feel like I'd talk to somebody.
I don't think that they just come. I think that the Sergeant at Arms has a program. I know when Tina was there and Dick Mel ran the committee, it was like she basically walked you. She had somebody that walked you through your office, your blah blah blah, all the things you had in your toolbox.
Right.
I think that goes away if that tradition isn't passed on. So, for instance, I don't know if that's something that Michelle Harris does, right? But I would think that would be something that comes under Sergeant at Arms, under the Rules Committee, etc., that would come in and would bring you up to speed. But I would say that we should see our own as the Black Caucus and bring them in and say, here's the Black Caucus rules and regulations. Like, here's how we govern ourselves. This is how we talk. This is how we do. And we're going to show you. See, the problem is, if you leave these people to the wolves, if you leave them to white folks to get educated in this social democratic bull, then guess what? We'll be sitting around here giving up all the white neighborhoods. We'll still look good. Are we still really on this? Are black people really still on this progressive stuff? Like, are we really still talking progressive? After what y'all saw happen to the ultimate progressive, did you see any progressive win? No. You saw them on the city council side.
Yeah.
Like in the white elected places. Black folks ain't talking about no progressive, because we all know progressive and socialism don't work for us. Let's go to Hassan. Hassan, you're on Talk Chicago 1690. What would black people pay to save?
Hey, thank you. Well, I got several ideas, or maybe Providence St. Mel has some history. You look at the Operation Push, maybe the Regal Theater, and maybe the Mars Mariam. That's history from when the Nation of Islam started back in the day.
Okay, I'm going to say the Regal Theater, that man been trying to raise $150,000 to open that sucker back up for the last 5 years. If I see one more...
No, it's actually longer than that. Ever since the Gardeners left, it has been a problem trying to raise money because it needed a lot of work.
Right.
And it hasn't come.
Exactly. And
that's like, I was the alderman, so that's more than 15 years.
See, I love the Regal Theater, how it looks, but again, I would say that black folks ain't saving the Regal Theater. We need to raise $150,000. But I appreciate you, Hassan. Let's go to Milton. Milton, you want to talk Chicago? You know? Milton, you want to talk Chicago? Wait. Go, Annette, you got something? Oh. Yeah, okay, y'all doing too much. Y'all got me. I'm like, who are y'all signaling to? All right, let's go to Elvira. Elvira. Y'all remember that song?
Yeah, Alabama.
Elvira. What's up, Elvira?
Hi, Maze. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? Thanks for calling.
Oh, thank you for being on in the morning. And my comment was, I would say the Chicago Urban League.
You know what? I think if we say the Chicago Urban League, it's because the Latinos are taking it over right now, as they have they census meetings. But look, Elvira, I gotta go to traffic news and the weather. But when we come back, don't hang up on. I'll let her finish her comment. It's Talk Chicago 69.
The talk of Chicago and the voice of the nation.
Elvira. When you come back, play Elvira.
Yeah.
I used to love that song. Elvira.
Yeah, I wasn't paying much attention. That song just kind of snuck up on me, and I was like, what's that song?
I used to love Alabama, though. My favorite song from them is The Closer You Get, the Further I Fall. I'll be over the edge now in no time at all.
See, now you know more about Alabama than I ever did.
I'm going faster and faster and faster with no time to stall. The closer you get, the further I fall. That used to be my jam.
Yeah, that was your boy band. This is
Alabama used to have a jam.
Because they weren't boys, they were men.
And the Oak Ridge Boys.
The Oak Ridge Boys. Yes, you were from Bolingbrook. Even though I like a couple of country songs, a couple of George Jones, of course, Johnny Cash.
Also, put Islands in the Stream in it. So play Elvira when we come back by Alabama.
Islands in the Stream.
Put Islands in the Stream in this break. We gonna have a country music
Dolly
set.
Parton.
Yep. Get Jolene. The song Jolene. And then the song, The Devil Came Down to Georgia. He was looking for his soul to steal. I used to love Charlie Daniels.
Yeah. My country list would probably be a little different from yours, but hey, different decades, you know.
Ronnie Millsap.
Ronnie Millsap. Ooh, that works. Blind man can play.
Charlie Pride.
Charlie Pride.
I know all.
There's a sprinkle of salt in every dish. Yep.
Okay, y'all. Salim, are you making fun of my love of Alabama? Let me tell you, country music got me through some tough times. It was like my blues back in the day.
Oh, it's just like blues.
I got some, like, I used to be, like, it wasn't cool to say you like, so I used to have to listen to country because my old man would force us to listen to whatever he listened to.
Where was he from?
He was from the south side of Chicago.
Oh, really?
But it's like, I told y'all we was the first black people to go to Dollywood, didn't I?
Dollywood?
I told Dollywood, man, we went to Dollywood.
Your dad was hook, line, and sinker.
And I'm going to tell you what, though, we went to Dollywood, and when we went there, it was on the 4th of July. We went there on the 3rd of July. We were there in town before, and the Ku Klux Klan was in the parade. In the 4th of July.
You lying.
I bullshit you not. I was just like, really? Imagine being 16.
Where was the parade?
The parade was in Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Mm.
So Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg were right next to each other.
Uh-huh. Dang.
Right, they are mollywopping Kim. And yesterday, I'm gonna just tell you. I believe that Kim can deliver. Like, if given the right stuff, the right things, the stuff, she's a competent speaker and can deliver. Yeah. She is failed by her political thought process. I think that all of these people come into these offices when you are brought in under the guise of progressive that they teach you that politics is a bad thing.
Right, right.
But you're a politician, and you got elected through politics. And so you got all of these. I never forget this summer, man. I was this summer, and I just could not believe I was listening to. Here's the Young Democrats. Let me stop. I'm listening to the people that are running the party, and they sound like the white folks on the north side. Mm-hmm. And they're black and in charge.
And her office is not unlike a lot of offices, her office is not an emotional office. She has to have a different stance when she's speaking to the outer public, because it's a professional office. And let's be honest, white people look at that office in a different way than they look at being the mayor or president of the county board. They want you to be tough and show you're confident and not afraid.
And I'm going to tell you I tell you like this. If there was no Laquan McDonald, Anita Alvarez would have been reelected.
Oh, yeah, in a minute.
No question.
They didn't see that coming.
No question. And I think yesterday just demonstrated, like, they have put these people in control who have no respect from the body at large, right? So I keep going to this political consultant that they made over the last 4 years, that Kurt Summers, that all these people that never won anything in a real fight, never been in a real fight, and now because you was with somebody who was gifted a spot, and he decides that he gone, but now they done inserted you as the new political consultant because they don't want to hear real black shit because they've been busy ignoring black people. So let me go find somebody who will co-sign this bullshit, again, from out of state. Mm-hmm. Right? Because then that person can ignore and not have to build no relationships. The same Mayor Daley path, right?
Right.
And now, when you need that person, they can't give you anything. That person can't pick. Her clout didn't come from being someone that people respected. Your clout came from the fact that you was making calls for JB. Mm-hmm. Your clout came from the fact that you was making calls for Tony. Your clout came from, nobody was like, oh my God, Alex called and now we gotta go jump and do this. And she would be the first one, if I said something, to call up and be like, he hates women. No, bro, no, lady, you ain't never won nothing. I've been in Chicago doing Chicago politics for 25 years. I ain't never seen you.
Right.
And now all of a sudden, you the chief? You got the $2 million, it's a $200 million campaign and you now the boss?
And when you need to find somebody, you don't know where to look.
Right. You call people to call. I'm supporting Kim Fox. Elvira. Hell Lord on fire. Elvira. Boom ba mow mow. Get ya boom ba mow mow. Get ya oh fever. Elvira. Oops, whoops. You are tuned into the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. Before we leave on to the next subject,
that song is very simple. I mean, I bet three of us with some
boom, doom, ba-doom,
drum and something else. Yeah, that's not really complicated.
But you gotta say, well, you know what? I'm trying to time it so we get it right, so we can take the call. Y'all know we continuing this conversation. It's the WVON Morning Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. That's my man, Todd Stroger. Got Annette Flournoy in the newsroom. I got my man Titus on the wheels of steel, as well as Miss Sonia Tompkins, Sonia is the super producer. But on the phone, I got Elvira. Elvira, you on the Talk of Chicago 1690.
Thank you, Maze. I love you all. And Sonia, you're the bomb.
Sonia's not here today. That's Titus.
And that.
That was Titus.
Thank you, Titus. Maze,
Yes.
President Trojan. I just said, I'm saying in the next 4 years with our new mayor, we're going to need the Urban League to help our, our young folks, our middle age, and our seniors with resources. And I believe the Urban League has the resources already in place. While you're doing what you and President are planning to do, the Urban League will help with that. So we're the black community. We need every resource that's out there, and the Urban League is very powerful. So that's why I would say the Urban League, Chicago Urban League as well.
Thank you, Elvira.
Well, now that you said that, I was talking to someone about what we were talking about strategies and putting people together to make a strategy and move things on. And that person said that they thought the Urban League would be the place that would be the leader for that.
So the challenge I always tend to find is that most of these places are already institutionalized and they're part of the system that already exists. So I used to think about every time somebody from the Urban League would come on the show, they would talk about black and brown, black and brown, black and brown. And again, we need a black strategy. Ain't no brown nowhere in Urban League except for when Chuy Garcia takes over the Urban League to have the census meetings where no black people come except for our guy Stanley Moore.
Well, you're right. You gotta have you have a black strategy, and then you go out and you find allies to help do that and bring them in. But yeah, if they're in the planning stage in the beginning, then it may not just be a black strategy.
And the challenge becomes, remember, see, my challenge right now is most of our institutions are more aligned with white folks than black folks.
Isn't everything about the same thing, though?
What?
Money.
I agree, but again,
isn't that what we're talking about right now?
Yes.
It's about money.
It's about
the ability to raise
MON.
money to do things, and we have not shown the ability to do that or gather the interest of people to do that. Well, that's more of what it is.
And I guess my thing is, are people that donate to those organizations gonna donate when it's black empowerment as compared to Kumbaya, my lord, Kumbaya? Because I ain't really
That's
trying.
always the fear.
Well, see, right, and then I think you think about the white folks be like, hold on. See, my problem with a lot of these institutions is white folks still get to pick who the black people are, right? So they say that the white they say. We'll support you, but you can't have that Negro.
Right.
He too. Oh no. Didn't get him a table, but that Negro's too. He's too radical.
It's like when Cecil Partee became the Senate president. It wasn't the establishment; it was the independent Democrats who actually created that. I have to give them a round of applause, Dick Newhouse and those guys. But they said, well, no, it can't be you guys. It'll be Cecil.
Right. See. That's
and then they were like, okay, Cecil, you had that one term. We're gonna make you city treasurer.
Move on.
Like, this was too powerful. You gotta move on.
You got too much, and you still too on the team. All right, so that's what I was gonna say. Look, y'all. I think this is a stark question that I think we should all be reflecting on. I hope that our elected officials, I hope that our leaders in our community can look internally and listen to the response to that question. What do black people have in Illinois that we would pay to save? And I'm gonna tell you that people came up with some suggestions, but they were stretching. Y'all was working hard to find something that we would say. Like, let me ask you a question. You think if any of these synagogues burned down, you think that the Jewish community would be like, think about it. They'd be like,
I don't have to think about it. I think it'd be built tomorrow.
Right. I mean, and it would be built with our money, and it would be built with state money and private money.
Oh yeah, there would be money coming from everywhere.
I'm just curious what we got. That should just tell y'all something. But I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on to the Kim Foxx saga that continues. So Todd, I woke up on fire this morning. So let me tell you, and I want.
Can I say something quickly?
Sure, you can.
I don't know if you saw in the see, I gotta start getting the Times because I'm only reading the trip, but that John Legend and this Neil Franklin, who is the executive director of what? Of the Law Enforcement Action Partnership, and he's a former police officer. They wrote an op-ed talking about how the FOP is kind of like destroying the narrative and the system for police reform, because you know they will get behind any police officer, good, bad, or anything in between.
So, again, I'm gonna go back to my point. When the last time you seen John Legend in Chicago? How many votes John Legend got in Chicago?
I really like the way he sings, but I've never seen him.
Right. Green light, you can be the green light.
It was interesting that he
green
wrote
light,
that, but
green light.
I guess he does have a. I guess he has a reputation for being an activist.
Okay.
But you're right. I don't know how active he's been here.
And let me ask you a question. How many black people in Chicago are going to be like, just give me the green light, and give me the green light?
I don't know if he's supposed to have brought some credibility to Neil Franklin, or Neil Franklin was supposed to bring credibility to him.
Who in the hell is Neil Franklin?
He's the head of that policy thing, so that's why I'm saying.
So here's me, right? Again, this is Todd. This is okay. So let me take a step backwards and begin by saying that black people, this is a conversation between black people. White folks, you can listen, but this is a conversation between black people. Todd, I love Kim Foxx. I love what Kim Foxx stands for. I love that she was swept in the office, and when I see Kim Foxx, I am always proud of her, and I love her to death. And it's like I tell people all day, well, I'm on TV, whatever, hands off Kim Foxx. But Todd, I feel as though politically she is being done a disservice. I woke up this morning with a plethora of feelings. Because I went to, so last night, just so we're clear, Kim Foxx had not a fundraiser, but a get out and support Kim Foxx fundraiser event. It was at the Godfrey Hotel, right? Mm-hmm. Downtown Chicago. And I walked in, and it was, I walked in, and it felt like a party. It felt like I used the Marie Antoinette, where all the people in the world are having parties and drinking tea and crumpets and having cakes, and they're in their ivory tower at the Godfrey Hotel downtown. Mm-hmm. And outside, the people are raging. And I looked around the room.
And starving.
Yes. And I looked around the room and I said to myself, in a political war, how many of these people last past round one? I'm in my Game of Thrones, right? I'm saying, like, okay, we got a battle, like, say the Battle of the Bastards is coming. And I look around and I see all of these people and I say, now this is the army I got. How many of these people are going to stay for the battle? How many are breaking out running? And how many will be dead after the first engagement?
Right.
And when I looked at the room, I said we're going to probably have about 20 people left. Not because their hearts and intentions weren't pure, but because I don't think that the people on the political side really know what to do besides throw a party.
Their battle skills aren't good.
They don't have any. And look, we'll talk about it more when we come back. Let's talk Chicago 1690. So now, I am saying, so I was watching, and my old man used to call it piddling around. Like, you're piddling around, like you ain't really doing, you're just doing busy work to be busy, but what's the outcome, right? Like, is there a call to action? Is there okay, are y'all taking precincts? Are y'all taking y'all block? Are y'all taking y'all? And it's all the same people that I watched that was part of the Tony crew that watched her burn in flames.
Well, the speaker had a program he called it friends and family, where your job was to reach out to your friends, your family, you send them
A postcard.
That's right,
A
postcard.
prepaid postcard that you put the stamp on. They put the stamp on, and you say hi.
It has a message on it, and you personalize it by putting your name down, and you sign in your name, saying, "Hey, this is Todd, and look, I have a friend named
Kim Fox."
All right, I was trying not to be too political at the moment, but okay. So I got a friend, Kim Fox, who I know is doing a great job for us in the county. She has changed the system where more people who are not guilty are being released, or having minor crimes aren't sent to jail and becoming career criminals. I need you to support her in this next election. Sincerely, Todd Stroke. And you go out and you mail 50 of those out to your friends. And that is being part of the process and doing something positive in the process.
Let me tell you what they all did. Had drinks and congratulated themselves on how dope they were. As they sat, like, now mind you, I'm watching all these people who just lost the most historic loss in history. And there's no sense of urgency. It's like all of them people. And then the thing, what was crazy to me was, it was like an all-black party.
Yes, and she can't win that way. I mean, that's the most important part of this, is she has to find the nooks and crannies where she can gather support, and people are going to say, yes, you're doing what we want. And that's another thing she has to do. She actually has to put out what she wants. I mean, the people who are supposed to go out and help her have to know exactly how the office has changed, so they can find the people who would think that's important and get their support. Because there are white people who, if you present it to them, are like, oh, well, that's exactly what I was looking for.
And here's the other part. So, one of the things that I learned yesterday was that Kim, in her good government effort, tried to keep everything siloed. To me, you keep things siloed, but there's got to be somebody that understands and has got a foot in both sides, right? Your top people have to be like, this is good policy, but it's also good politics. And once you make actions, your team has to be able to make sure that it's communicated through all the channels to all the people in these areas, right? Who's the person that's, like, who's Kim's whip?
Yeah.
Who is the person that, when they walk through, you know what time it is? When they say, can I see you? So you can I see you?
That's right.
And
you need someone who's going to be your bulldog, who weeds out, well, the weeds.
But she got so many weeds, right? And it's like, and not be scared of the consequence of not being liked.
Right.
Like, hey, yo.
Yeah, you can't live that way.
Like, my thing is right now, if I'm Kim, I'm walking through the fucking state's attorney's office and I'm being like, your ass is gone, your ass is gone, your ass is gone, your ass is gone. And I'm doing it. I'm having somebody do it like they getting their shit, they leaving. With a box, same day. And everybody else who's conspiring is like, now, there's only so many jobs that a mug can get. That they can go help 3 people. They can't help 20.
Well, you know, the problem, as I see it, is because everyone was connected from the past, they just kind of like moved people up. But when she came in, she's not connected to that past. I mean, I have nothing against the first assistant. But when you come in, the person who's sitting right next to you,
that's got to be you.
That's, yeah.
Night, I'm gonna party like it's 1999.
Say it one more time.
2000 part over this out of time. No. So tonight, in line of 1999. 1999. 1999. 1990. Stop. Don't stop. I'll say it one more time. 2000. Party over this out of time. Yeah. So tonight, like it's 1999. Say it one more time. 99. Don't you want to go? 1999. Don't you want to go? 1999. Don't you want to die any day? Don't die. I'd rather dance my life away.
What time?
Everybody say party. Everybody say party. 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 One more time. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, Ty Stroger.
Even I couldn't stand on the wall on that, man.
What? 2000. You know what? Ow, wow. Right? Remember when this is the album.
The Times was on the other day. Yesterday. Literally.
You was watching Sign of the Times?
Yeah. You know. Everybody loves to see Prince hopping around and like thinking, man, I can see why you were in pain. Because you were working it.
Man, I'm telling y'all know deep in my other life I wanted to be Prince. The dark skinned Prince. Hey y'all, let me do this. I talk about you know the story about the frog in the boiling pot of water. And part of what brings this whole thing up for me right now is I don't know if you all have seen, but they have now started to release more of Kim Foxx's text messages, screenshots of her text messages.
What?
Not exactly. See how that works?
Somebody's fired.
So more, and so basically they are releasing the screenshots of the conversation between Kim Foxx and her first deputy, the guy who came in here.
Yeah. And
basically, it's like all of these texts saying that comparing the case. So she recused herself. They got people comparing the case, the R. Kelly case, to the Jussie Smollett, the overcharging. There is something happening, right? And I have seen this happen before. I saw it happen with Ken Duncan, where Ken was sitting in a boiling pot of water.
Oh no, I knew I was boiling.
They turned on the stove when you came.
They turned it red before I even took the oath.
And now I'm seeing something similar happening to Kim Foxx. And my concern is that her political arm is piddling around. They don't really know what to do. And so they're doing stuff that adds up to a sum total of 0.
They're marching, but they're marching in a circle.
Yes.
Just go around and round.
And I'm telling y'all now.
So I am doing something.
Yes. And then it looks like, and if you don't know what you're supposed to be looking for, right? So imagine if you've never been political, right? Because you was a good government person, not good, you was a good employee, whatever, like our girl Kim. You never had to deal with the political stuff. And now you're thrust into the political role and your people give you this person and they say, this is a good political person, right? But said political person was given everything, never went to war, never been in battle, but is now a lieutenant. And is now thrust into the middle of a war and says, soldiers march. And the real battle soldiers are like, you know that's the cliff right there, right? And if you tell us to keep forward march, but Madam Lieutenant, you gonna march us off the cliff. I told you, darn it, I don't know anything else to do, so we're gonna march.
Right, you gotta do something.
And I have officially become concerned about the black community politically. But I want to hear Earl, because Earl said you better get your facts right. Come on, Earl, what you got, bro?
How you doing this morning, man?
I'm great. Talk to me.
Well, that's not somebody inside of Kim Foxx's office releasing. That's her releasing the documents for this Inspector General.
So it doesn't. It's not like there's this mole in her office. That's them releasing her office releasing the document.
That's not what I read. I did not read that. She called for the investigation, but these texts are being either released or requested by FOIA. These are on her private phone. No, these are not the Inspector General releasing these. The Inspector General is currently in the investigation process. Get your facts right. Art, you want to talk Chicago 1690? Art?
Hey, Dave, how are you this morning?
What's up, man?
Hey, Todd, I asked you to give me a call. I'm challenging you to a basketball game.
Oh, no, they didn't give me your number.
You can't dunk.
Okay, I'm gonna leave my number.
Todd said he plays 5'8". He said he played 5'8".
I'm 5'6" and 3/4, but I play at 5'8".
I'm good. I'm leave you my number. Number one, hey, this days. At the end of the day, an attack on Kim Fox, an attack on anybody who's a righteous person who's trying to do the right thing. And righteousness always wins. That's number one.
No, it doesn't, but go ahead.
Yeah, true.
Righteousness does not always win, Art.
Yes, you always win.
No, it does not, but go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it does.
Go Donald Trump. How about that one?
No, we're not talking about for real. Now,
He's the president for real. Go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
okay. Truth always wins.
No, it doesn't. Go ahead.
Yes, it does. Keep it on, y'all.
Because the truth don't always win. Art, you hold on. Art, just hold on. I'm going to go to traffic and weather, and I will take your call when we come back. Just hold on. It's Talk Chicago 1690. We'll be back. The truth does not always win. Todd, did you tell them the truth about the 2-penny tax?
Well, it was 1 penny, and yeah, I told him as truthfully as I could.
Did you win?
You remember Joan DeBar? The Notre Dame bird. I was like, what's that smell? Like in the pot. Hey, who's cooking? Like Bugs Bunny?
Hassan, Papa!
What is that, rabbit stew?
Todd, I sent you Art's number.
Oh, what you do?
I want y'all to check email.
Email.
You get emails. You get emails.
All right, I'll tell Art that you all right.
Emails.
I'll tell Art you all right. Man, where's my emails? I just look at those things.
So going forward,
I think we need a political purge.
A purge?
I think we need a political purge. Like, I think we need to throw all of these, again, if you won 20 precincts for Tony Preckwinkle, everybody who worked on the Tony Preckwinkle campaign should not get work again. They should not be working in any leadership positions at all. Like, at all. $6,000 a precinct? $6,000 a precinct, Todd.
That's a lot of money.
Todd, $6,000 a precinct?
I gave her my best advice for free.
Check this out.
I really did.
So check this out, though. Give me my...
Ooh, I should probably look this plan.
Hold on. Clear. 5600000. 5600000. Okay, so 55,600,000. Let's divide that by 20 precincts. She spent $280,000 per precinct that she won. Tony Preckwinkle spent $280,000 per precinct that she won. Let's get her total votes. Can we pull up the total votes that she got, and then you divide that? What's up, y'all? Take a moment to share the broadcast. What up, Deborah? Daryl, you come on, man. If I gave you $6,000, you could win more than one precinct. Stop it. What up, Jeanette Washington? What up, Mike Brown? $6,000 a precinct, bro. $6,000 a precinct. And these punks are still getting paid. They still getting paid. They still work. Like, really? Really? I'm trying to understand, where do these people come from And who can they move? And then if I was to show you the text messages after the campaign when I talked about it, they started pointing and the campaign started blaming each other. It wasn't me, it was her. It was her, it was him. Nigga, if y'all won 20 precincts, it was everything. 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 Then when you look at who she spent her money with, so let me ask the question. Is Amazon, does SEIU support Amazon? Because she bought all her office supplies from Amazon. My thing would be, you ain't gonna sim.
She got 137.
Kim released the texts.
765 votes.
Huh?
She got 137,000.
Okay, hold on. $56 divided by how many she get?
137,765. Ready to roll.
$41 a vote she got. She spent. Go to D2 and look at Lightfoot and see what her total was. Illinois State Board of Elections, and just put Lightfoot in the committee search. Take a moment, share the broadcast. Take a moment, share the broadcast. I'm just saying, I was so pissed off yesterday because I feel like these people ain't doing. I really feel like the political operation. I have confidence that things are going to change very soon.
So Todd, going
Oh,
forward,
what is your,
so
what
you
would
can
it come
check
from?
your. Come from me, Sonya at WVON.com. You ain't get it?
No. What did you send it to? T.H. Schroeder? No, I don't see it, but I'll look at it. I'll search. I didn't search for it. I just gotta look. I didn't put it in the search box because I wasn't sure what your email was.
Well, yeah, just type in Sonya at WVON.com, see what will come up. SONYA.
Yeah.
So going forward, so you can get used to checking your emails. Whatever I send Maze, I'm gonna send you. Okay? So whatever he pick and choose, at least you'll still see it.
Okay. Search mail.
Oh, so Kim Fox released the text in response to a FOIA.
Oh. Oh, there it is. All right.
Close that door.
Don't take the place.
Backstabbers. Backstabbers. All the time they want to take your place, a backstabber.
You better be ready, yeah. Show look shady. I don't think they'll miss
What they doing? They smiling in your face. All the time they want to take your place, a backstabbers. Backstabbers.
all these pieces.
You are tuned in to the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, Todd Stroger. Todd, you know what, Todd? I think your other life, you wanted to be a singer, too. Yeah.
No, I wanted to be a background singer. I wanted to be a pimp. I didn't want to be Glass.
Yeah. It was Last Night in the Pimps. I thought it was the Pimps. I used to be like, I want to be like Last Night in the Pimps. And then it was like Pips. I learned on American Soda it was actually the Pips. Because I used to be like Gladys Knight and the Pimps. Let me finish up with my man Art. Art, come on, man. Talk to me. The truth will set you free.
And I did find your number.
Okay. And you do it, and Sonia did send your number. Art, are you still there?
Yeah, all right. Sonia sent it.
Art, go ahead. Art, go ahead.
Hello?
You here? Come on.
Oh, okay, my bad. So, we have, first of all, this is showing us that this is a public mention. So black people that's in power have the resources and the tools for media communication is supposed to get behind Kim Fox, just like John Legend, and we're supposed to expose all of the dirt that the police and the people who's supposed to be in authority does. This is what we're supposed to do. So we don't down anybody who's trying to stand up and to expose it. We just got to go to war and let them know we're not going to allow this to happen to Kim Fox or any black person or any person who's standing up for truth and righteousness. That's all this is about. So we don't have to fall for it. She's doing the right thing. We just got to up our attack for them. Expose Ron for the dirt he did. Put his text messages out. This is all you got to do is go to war. Don't put nobody down who's standing up for truth. Whatever part they play in the war, because war has different parts to it. I leave with that, and God bless.
Thanks, Art. You know what I just think, the one thing, and I'm going to give you that, Art. I think the key is tactical deployment, right? So if you know that you are going to inflame your enemy by putting someone that's going to be a Red Bull flag to them, then maybe until you get on stronger ground, you just don't wave that flag. And you know how Chicagoans are. Like, part of this whole thing is about somebody from outside of Chicago. And I'm not going to say that John Legend and Jussie Smollett look alike, because then that would be something, but you don't want a reminder. Let me go to Shauna. Shauna, you want to talk Chicago 1690?
Hey, Maeve, how you doing?
I'm good, Shauna.
Good. I hope you well too, Mr. Strozer.
I am, thank you.
I just wanted to say, the problem is it's the people in the room. And, you're doing this behind closed doors. I'm not advising Kim. I'm not an advisor. But if I was, I would tell her it's time to get back to the people. Because I will bet my bottom dollar, majority of those folks that she was in the room with were silent when Jason Van Dyke and LaQuan McDonald's case had went down. So, my opinion, this is just my opinion.
I'm with you. It's okay, Shauna. You good.
She needs to start talking to the people and get back down with the people. She needs to come home and get down. Just get down with the people.
Come to the barbecue. Come to the barbecue, do a little cha-cha slide. Make sure everybody remember. See, but the problem is, like, Kim is a good down-home. She with us.
Yeah.
Kim is with...
She does do that. I think if you see any of the events she's at, she's always with people and dancing and being part of the group.
The problem, Todd, is that some of the people with her, like that in the political space, they built their career on keeping their candidates away from black people, right? They felt, remember how I tell you about people who think their job is to protect their people from black people instead of deliver messages to black people?
They just want them around money people.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
And so, again, and if that's all you know, because that's where you came from and you ain't really from Chicago, and so all you ever got to do is go talk to the hoity-faloities and the sororities and fraternities, and I'm not tripping on that. But again, that's not who you need to win. Let's go to Thurgood. Thurgood, you want to talk Chicago 1690?
Morning, gentlemen. Awesome show as always.
Thank you.
Just a couple observations, just to point out what I mind a great hypocrisy. I'm waiting for the mayor of the city to seek to recoup from Commander Burge the money he cost us by torturing all those young men. I want the city to try to recoup the $750 million in payments for police abuse. I tell of two state's attorneys. The state's attorney daily, he failed to prosecute Burge, resulting in this whole spree of abuses. And oh, by the way, Mr. Burge ended up with a pension from the city of Chicago. One last observation, and that's the example of Aaron Shaw. Aaron Shaw was a Republican congressman who did the same thing that Jesse Jackson did. He took campaign funds and converted it to his own personal use. He resigned in 2015. The U.S. Attorney announced on March 9th that all charges would be dropped against Aaron Shaw if he simply pays back the money to the IRS. Pretty different result for him as opposed to Jesse Jackson Jr. What's my point? Prosecutors have great discretion. Kim Foxx did it awkwardly, clumsily, but I support her, and I wish I was there last night at the hotel reception.
You know what, Thurgood, so I'm going to agree with you in that I think that she could have handled it better, and I appreciate your call. I think the challenge that we have as black folks is that, like, comparing a black situation to a white situation to white folks, they're not going to see it the same. Right? So saying, well, Bill Daley did this, or well, Rich Daley did this, it's like Rich Daley done been the mayor. We done elected him already. Right? We done re-elected him and elected him. He gone. Yeah. Now you talk about what happened with John Burge, he's dead. Right? When you talk about what happened with, what's my man, Aaron Schock, he was white. Now, I'm not making excuses, but I am saying that if you were doing a geometry equation and you said white people are going to be treated differently than black people in the same situation, that would be categorized as given. Right? Like when you do your, like when you go and you do a geometry and they make you draw the chart and one side of it says, what do you have is all the givens. The fact that white folks are going to get treated differently than black folks and they're going to get the benefit of the doubt is a given. So I don't know if us bringing those other people up is going, because white folks still be like, man, them people was guilty regardless. Let's go to Brother Hall. You want to talk Chicago, 1690.
Yeah, good morning, May. Good morning, Todd.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Just the same brother that was out in the hood with you, Todd.
Brother, you think you needed to tell me that? I know you like yesterday.
I know it, brother. I know it. This day this morning. Listen, man, you all talking this morning, brother. There's one thing I can say. You sure know what bodies are buried. See, we forecast this maybe about a month or so ago in terms on our dislike for Tony Preckwinkle because we allowed that to get personal. And remember now, who was Kim Foxx sponsored by? Who was Kwame Raoul sponsored by?
Right.
We can just go on down the line. Robinson. I can go on down the line. What am I saying? Is that when they get time to get you, they get you because what they know about us is that we're going to do a whole lot of talking and that's organized. And, the last election, 30% of the vote came out. That shit, we ought to be ashamed of ourselves that if we only can get 30%, you got 70,000 people per ward practically. And that means less than 5,000 people came out to vote. So at some point, we got to up our A game. I'll keep saying it. And I'm behind Kim Foxx 100%, but I think that them brothers is sharpening their knives.
I'm with you, Brother Hall. I think they sharpening our knives, and we around here playing with a wooden sword. Like Kim Foxx cannot be in the battle with a wooden sword while everybody else is sharpening up their knives. And I'm just telling you, you got, in this political realm, we just saw what happened to Tony Preckwinkle.
Right.
If you still rocking with them people, they got to do some penance. Have they figured out they soul searching yet? Have they said this is where we went wrong? Let me go to Anthony. Oh, Anthony, I can't. I'm gonna come back to you in a minute. We gotta go to traffic and the weather.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson coming up.
Now watch, y'all. Tony Preckwinkle lost with 73% of the vote. I'm talking about this, and at some point I'm gonna get in trouble or I'm gonna get a phone call talking about why you talking about that girl. I think everybody should be talking about that girl. Everybody should be talking about that whole crew. Y'all did us a disservice, and white folks all over the world are looking like, all these marks, we can take anything we want from them. And y'all around here letting Detroit hold us down. When the Detroit Pistons, like, this is me though. Check this out. In Chicago, how in the hell is a Detroit Piston got any plug in the city? Think about when somebody picks up the phone, they call you, and you be like, I need you to do what? Where you from? What high school did you go to?
Right.
Who you know? Now, That's one thing when you got JB's billions behind you.
Yeah.
It's another thing when you got the county board president or the treasurer and they got some power. But how do you operate when you ain't got shit? Can you build an army? Can you organize? No, you can't. You pull the same 6 people. And so this classic example. So you mean to tell me that on the night that Old School Tuesdays launches, right? Old School Tuesday, biggest black joint on a Tuesday night. You throw a party you want black people to come. You throw a party at the Godfrey Hotel. No shade to the people that threw the party, but like so now you got this light crowd that ain't full. The room ain't full. It ain't packed. It's just so. And all the black people that are in this space are over at Norm's in the black community on 43rd. So you ain't even plugged in Chicago enough to know that you competing against kind of the biggest thing going on a Tuesday night. And instead of going to compete against that, how much more props would you have gotten to go to that? How much more social and digital and everything would have happened out of that if you go to, and I don't even necessarily get down with dude from that event because his dumb ass came in my wife in an ignorant ass way, and after I told his dumb ass it was my wife, his dumb ass still did the shit. But that's a different thing. You still go to that event. So now if I'm the promoter, I'm like, damn, you trying to take me out on my first night on the biggest thing? So now you just made that's one more person you can't call. Oh. On the screen! You are tuned in to the Top of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, Todd Stroger. And Todd, I'm a little upset, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maze.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Okay, we've been talking about...
Oh, Maze, with Kim Fox, she needs somebody in the room when they have their meetings, and everybody says, who's that guy? She says, don't worry.
Right, exactly. Can I tell you, do you remember, like I remember when Mayor Daley was the mayor, there was no meeting in City Hall, none, that somebody from the Intergovernmental Affairs was not sitting in with a clipboard taking notes. I don't care who it was.
Oh, yeah.
And he would get a report. Let me tell you what. At the states, I know my girl is going to take care of the business over at the state's attorney's office because I think everybody tightening up. I do think we need a political purge, Todd. I think that I don't know if it's a named purge, if it's we whisper in your ear and say, you can't, or do we teach people that the second you hire these people, you're going to wake up and find out that the world is against them. But I think that it's time out. There's too much at stake for Kim Fox for us to allow a political novice from a different city be responsible for criminal justice in the city of Chicago, in Cook County. With all of the money, all of the people that have been killed by police, with so many things that are going on, do we really want to leave our fate in the hands of someone? Do we want to put my favorite state's attorney in the hands of someone who can't even go to the barbecue? Not the Chicago barbecue. You can't come to Chicago barbecue wearing a Piston shirt. Do y'all know what the bad boys did to the Bulls? I'm just saying. Let me go to the phone lines. Let's go to Anthony. Anthony on Talk Chicago 1690.
Good morning, Maze team, everybody.
Good morning.
Okay, listen. I personally would like to hear from the president of Cook County Board. Okay? We need to develop a strategy going forward, and trust me, she already told you that she'd like to come back in since you and Todd just made up with her.
First of all, hold on. Todd kissed and made up with her. I said she could come in here and I said she could come in here and give the black community an opportunity to hear from her directly. Don't put that on me. You ain't never hear that. So just make sure you got that right, Anthony. Go ahead. What's that?
That's an asset.
Ask what?
No, they said asset.
That's an asset.
Asset.
Oh, asset. Yeah, she is an asset. But
okay, let's put her to work. I bet she ready to put the gloves on and crush a couple of skulls.
Yeah, I think that Anthony, I think you're right, though. I think Tony Preckwinkle does need to re-enter. But I think it's another one of those things when I was talking about John Legend, right? Like, you don't need to engage the red flag against the bull. What you need to do is say, Tony Preckwinkle needs to start marshaling her resources, seeing all of the people, places, and things that she's got in all of these municipalities, and start lopping them off. Start changing. What you mean you can't get no? She needs to change the dynamic, but she don't need to be vocal, because tying Kim to Tony Preckwinkle right now is like putting another anchor around her neck. Let's go to Sister Karen. Karen, you on Talk Chicago 1690. Karen, you on Talk Chicago?
Miss, can you hear me?
I got you, sis. Come on.
Oh, how y'all doing? Listen,
Great.
You're right. Tony Preckwinkle does need to get involved, but she doesn't need to be tied to Kim. And May, righteous does always win. It might not win when we think it's supposed to win, but righteous always wins. And yesterday, I meant to get there, but that room just showed that you don't need 100 pennies. You just need 4 quarters. Have a great day.
Oh, I heard you. Well, you know what? I be wanting to see the righteousness. I want to see it on fire. You know what? Because I think we did see righteousness win on the Preckwinkle thing. Like, I feel like that was her comeuppance. Now, does she decide that she's gonna come on back to the barbecue, or does she have a bad attitude moving forward? I think looking at her Facebook post, she's trying to get away back to the barbecue. Let's go to Robert. You got the last call, my brother.
Hey, how you doing?
What's up, Robert?
Morning. Nothing much. Look, Maze, the main thing is we have got to organize. The opportunity is coming for us to come together so that we will have an apparatus to beat back against all these type things, dealing with contracts and the whole 9 yards. So in June, there's going to be a mass meeting, literally, a 2-day summit for us to work together, bring all our plans to the table, and we're becoming WVON. We're going to get advertisement in the whole 9 yards. So tell everybody to start getting ready, putting their plans together, and be prepared to meet, put our stuff together, and put our real act before the powers to be. That's dealing with the county, city, as well as the state.
Thanks, Robert. I appreciate it. Let's go to Tony. What? Tony, go ahead, real quick. Tony, you on Talk Chicago?
Hey, thanks for taking my call, mate. I just want to say, I'm one of them guys. I'm not going to vote for Kim next time. You saw how she lied to come up for Jesse. Man, if he's out of order, you can't let him get away with that. That's just the bottom line.
Tony, let me ask you a question. So is that the biggest issue that you got with Kim Foxx? Because I'm going to just say, man, we got police murders, we got lying cops, we got a whole bunch of things. I'm not going to say, I'm concerned that, and I didn't like the Jussie Smollett, and I don't like how she handled it. But I'm going to tell you, if that's what we got, if that's all we got, so for having the most number of people exonerated, right? For starting the process to decriminalize and get people. It just seems to me like, you know what? Black folks, we want a reason to crush somebody that's on our own team. We will kick every black person's ass in the world. And a white person come in the room, y'all Negroes will get quiet as a church mouse. I ain't hearing it. It's the Talk of Chicago 1690. Keep your damn hands off of Kim Fox. Talk of Chicago. We'll be back.
The Talk of Chicago.
Man, that bullshit. Buzz Tony. She didn't lock up Jussie Smollett. I wanted her to lock up Jussie Smollett. But you sound crazy. Let me tell you what that was. That's the entry point. That was the first opening foray, a shot across the bow.
Cut off your nose and spike your face.
That is a topic across Facebook with this Smollett and Kim Fox. Well, if she did wrong, why are we backing her up? And I'm like, oh, you have some people, so what has she done? And then I said, why don't you research?
No, I don't think.
And they don't want to even research.
But that's.
I do it for them. And I said, well, here's some things that she have done. They quiet. But don't nobody, I mean, I said, if this is all you all get to argue about, is Jussie Smollett?
Right.
We so petty.
So I think, first of all, I think that the Jussie Smollett situation is a lot. Hold on. Let me get the camera back. So first of all, I think that the Jussie Smollett situation hit a nerve with black people, with all of Chicago. Right. I think it hit a nerve. And Kim didn't recognize the nerve because she up in the room with all of these fake ass political consultants telling her this is what people want. You could have watched the response on Facebook from when that happened and known that nobody was on Jussie Smollett's side from Chicago.
No, right.
Nobody was on his side. She did it in her criminal justice mind, not her political mind. Now, it's not your job, or in my estimation, the voters' job, to try to figure out what Kim has done. Kim has been failed in her communications by her communication staff, who has not constantly been talking about the good things that she's done. They have not been touting all of the positive stuff. There's not a story in all of the local papers. Every story that comes is because the press takes it instead of them working the media and working the press. So, it is a function of these people getting elected to office, being swept into office because there's this change mandate, but they never have any political acumen. And then they put on these people who can just ride the wave with them. And then they ride the wave right into... Who thought Kim Fox was losing? Nobody after Laquan McDonald. So now if you get on Kim Fox's team, you didn't win that fucking election. The people won that election. The people won that election. But now, you running around claiming these big-ass numbers when you didn't do shit. Right. It's like being in Illinois and claiming you won Illinois for Barack Obama. And so, what happens is, then we let these people walk around in front. They get empowered by these white politicians or these black politicians for nothing. They get to be the person, the gatekeeper that blocks all the black people, and now, right now, they got to go recollect black people. Do you think that the Detroit chick can get black people from Chicago? No. So that's why you saw yesterday the people who are just Kim Fox's friends showing up. That room should have been packed. It should have been, let me tell you, if it was me, I'm saying after I looked at that event yesterday, we can beat her ass. That's what I would say. And I'm going to tell you, if it wasn't Kim Fox, I would be Team Joyce. No doubt. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Because the Joyces know how to take care of their friends. All these Detroit motherfuckers don't take care of nobody, but then they want you to rally to their cause. Like, again, here's another situation. Like, honestly, if it wasn't Kim, I would work just to beat the Detroit person. Right. just to be like, you don't run shit around here. Get your ass up out our city. Fuck, how you got contracts? They paying you to do what? Seriously. And what will happen today is somebody from Chicago.
Money in Amazon.
Right. How do you think about this? Who's the fool that says buy your supplies from Amazon instead of a local business so that they fucking come in and say we'll vote for you? They spent $3 million on ads in Atlanta. We got every major advertising agency in the freaking country right here downtown. Why don't you go to freaking Leo Burnett or the biggest group and say, we'll get our commercials done here, and all the people in the building are like, well, we're on this team. And it pisses me off because I know people that had to work to get just an opportunity. And then you got these people from out of town, these young people who ain't never worked a campaign but can take selfies all over the place that get these titles, and then when it's time to deliver for the titles, what you saw happen was the same thing happened to the business community. These fucking preachers that all claim that they got the black community, all of them have rode the wave for all this time, and none of them deliver. Yeah. The same people saying, don't help Todd, don't help Mays, stay away from them. Now, at the end of the day, check this out. So the brides that she had, the young ladies that she had working said for 6 months, stay away from Mays, stay away from Mays, stay away from Mays, stay away from Mays. It's only after Kim Bennett gets in and says, y'all do realize that dude got the voice of the black community right now. Right? And says, Tony, why are you ignoring it? Like, you ignoring the biggest person. And I'm not trying to say that, but I am saying, like, we have a platform to speak to black people. Now, no, there was no way I was coming back to help your ass. For real. Not at this point, because you let Detroit, think about the fact that a Detroit person could exclude a Chicago person. Like, really? Now what? Like, imagine a person standing up at the front of the thing with Kim yesterday giving directions was from Detroit. Like, every nigga I know is like, man, we ain't doing shit. She can't call me and tell me to do shit. Ask me to do shit. Kim, you can call me and ask me whatever. Kelly, you can call whoever you want. But we ain't doing nothing for you. And it's like, yeah, that's supposed to happen. It's supposed to happen at 6 and at 8.
Rise and shine with the WVON Morning Show.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Featuring Mays Jackson.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
The WVON Morning Show.
Wake up!
I'm tired, y'all.
Let the gentleman do his thing. It's my old man dance. Way
Hey, Michelle, there's nothing wrong with Detroit when you trying to do business, but when you need to get Chicago Negroes to move, Detroit ain't doing it.
Respect yourself.
Respect
yourself. Respect yourself. If you don't respect yourself, ain't nobody gonna give a look. Respect yourself. Respect yourself. Respect yourself.
You are tuned into the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Mays Jackson. Got my man Todd Stroger in the building. And Todd, I done messed up this morning.
What? You couldn't
They
have.
done got me
Play
off.
a little Chicago music?
Chicago music?
Yeah.
You gotta play some Motown, because Clearly Chicago has gotten confused. This is the political capital of the world, and y'all taking in outsiders to run the joint, and you saw your outcome. Speaking of outcomes, let me
start at the top.
Huh?
They start at the top. They don't learn and figure out who's who and make relationships. They come in and give the orders.
Yes, they come in and give the orders thinking that somebody gonna follow their rules, and then you see what happened. Everybody collect your check. What they do, Harold Watch to do, say, take the money and vote somewhere else. Let me say what's up to the WVON Morning Show team first. Let me say what's up to Annette Flournoy in the newsroom. I got my man Ty Stroger. Titus, look my man Titus said we playing all Chicago music. You keep your Detroit to yourself. Now, that's the world famous staple singers, and I got my super producer, Miss Sonia Tompkins. Look, Todd, I'm going to continue this conversation. I'm going to take it up another level. Todd, I was looking at the D2s. Now, Todd, have you looked at the D2s? Do you know? Todd, could you explain to people what the D2s are?
In a long time. D2s are disclosure statements, which basically tells how much money you got and where you got it from, which is really important too. And you have to put them, you have to give them to the State Board of Elections, and they put them on the web.
And then everybody can look. And the thing about the D2s is, it's not something that political. I mean, if you're not political, that's not anything you would even think about.
Exactly.
But
I used to search D2s when I had too much time on my hands.
Well, see, the D2s was also that thing, Todd, where you could see who was really helping you and who was hurting you, who was supporting you for real. Did they give money to your competition, etc. Right. D2s tell a big story. So they talk about who gives you money, but it also talks about where you spend your money. Todd, so I just went through 15 pages of Tony Preckwinkle's D2s, and I'm going to say that I'm a little bit disappointed. Can you guess why?
They didn't spend a lot of money to black folks?
Well, actually, they did spend a lot of money to black people. Well, comparatively. So I was just looking at, and I only got 3 groups right now. So I saw Tactical Solutions, Advantage Solutions Group, and then I saw APS Partners, right? So those were 3 black-owned firms.
Mm-hmm.
Tactical Solutions got about $150,000 from Tony Preckwinkle. Advantage Solutions Group got about $130,000 from Tony Preckwinkle. APS, I haven't been able to get it all, but like they've been getting like $15,000, $20,000 from Preckwinkle, etc. Todd. So basically, but then I looked at so the biggest part of a mayoral campaign is often the media, right?
That's right.
And so the media component, so let me start here. In the first quarter of 2019, Tony Preckwinkle took in $4,423,965. A big chunk of that money came from CPS and SEIU. So you would initially think that she got about somewhere around $6 million total over the course of the election. You would think that when they give that money, that Tony Preckwinkle has $6 million of her own to spend. But, Todd, a big chunk of that money was in-kind. In-kind contributions. Can you tell people what an in-kind contribution is?
Oh, an in-kind contribution is not real money. So we use our manpower and man hours, and it added up to this.
So I'm going to tell you, when you see those big expenditures from SEIU and from CTU, I was going into it, and what I found is that a lot of their millions of contributions was to themselves. So basically what happens is SEIU told Tony Preckwinkle, we'll give you $2 million, but we'll give it to you in staff. Now they got to be our staff,
right? And
we'll loan them to you, but they report to us. And so they took the $14, the purple shirt people, and then basically what happens is they take the purple shirt people that make $9 and $10, and they find a rich white person that they pay like a couple $100,000, and then they send them to your campaign and they say they helped you. Right?
Right.
Okay. So then you go to, but then there's this other hustle. And Todd, this is why I feel like we need a political purge. Have you ever heard of Advantage Solutions Group?
I believe I have.
And what have you known that group to do?
To be honest with you, I don't know them well enough. I know the group. I just don't know what they've been doing.
So that group got paid $130,000 to do field work for Tony Preckwinkle.
Oh, okay.
Now, Todd, have you ever seen a preacher field director?
No. I ain't not.
Have you ever seen a preacher that knows how to do pluses and minuses?
Well, I will say I probably know one who should.
Okay. And
I don't know if he does, but he should.
Help me understand why the black political outreach operation is outsourced to a preacher. Help me understand that.
Well, I think it's the preacher we're talking about. He has been in the business for a while.
Wait, so is it the preacher business or the political business?
Both.
So who is he serving, God or the politician?
Faith, I try to stay out of that thing. I don't talk about religion very often.
But you're a preacher. But if you hire a preacher to do political work, are you a preacher or are you a politician?
Well, the real question is, what is his background even in political work? What is his forte?
Mm-hmm.
And is it field work?
So,
and if it is, where did he learn it? Because I mean, I like to know that kind of stuff.
And so that's what I feel. Well, when she won 20 precincts, I'm gonna say that there wasn't a lot of field operation. Let me tell you what I think field is for black people right now. So can I explain the difference between black field and white field? Black field is, I'm gonna find me a bunch of ragtag brothers and sisters. I'm gonna go to every shelter, every former gang organization, former everything, and I'm gonna put them all in a room, and I'm gonna pay them $50 a day, and I'm gonna go have them go outside, and it's gonna look like it's a really big thing.
That's part of it. That's part of it. I've seen it.
I'm saying no, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna invite the politician. I'm gonna create this room, and I'm gonna invite the politician, and I'm gonna have all these people sitting here that I'm paying $25, and then I'm gonna take out of their $25. I'm really charging you $125 an hour a day for them, but I'm gonna give them $25, and I'm gonna keep $100, and that's my hustle. That's black field right now.
That's a lot of hustle.
That's a lot of hustle. Compared to when you are field for a white operation and they hold you accountable every day, right? When you run a field operation, you have to come back with pluses and minuses, and you have to say how many votes. You got to know how many votes you need out of every precinct, out of every ward to get to your win number.
Right.
And Todd,
how many people did you touch today?
Exactly. And how many did you touch? How many said yes? How many said no? Right. And how do we contact the yeses?
Not going back to whose houses are we going back?
Exactly. Todd, when I looked at these D2s, it was a damn shame. I feel like when I looked at these D2s, two things happened. First of all, Tony Preckwinkle spent the bulk of her money white. Right? Bulk of it white. Then you remember when they had that pivot and they said we're going to take our money off TV and we're going to put it in the streets?
Yes.
What does put it in the streets mean?
I would think that would mean that you're going to do some door knocking and have people...
When's the last time somebody knocked on your door?
My door? Been a long time.
You live in the mighty 8th Ward and ain't nobody knocked on your dang door.
Well, people do leave door knockers.
That's not knocking on your door.
Well, they don't knock on my door because I think they know I'm there.
Well, that's the whole thing.
I don't need to talk to them.
And it's funny to me because elections require discipline. Elections and being a political consultant requires work. And I feel like our industry has been completely pimped. When I looked at those D2s, what I saw was a bunch of people that thought they were going to ride the wave of this Tony Preckwinkle thing in, and then after they realized they weren't going to ride the wave, they just said we're going to take as much money as we can possibly. And guess what? All of those people still walking around, their pockets are full. Tony is at the crib. And the political consultant who got paid, the political consultants who got paid are now moving on to lose another black campaign.
That was harsh.
You want to know what was harsh? 73 to 27. That was harsh.
That was harsh.
That was harsh. And I'm just telling you all that right now, looking at what Tony Preckwinkle spent, our political system is in a shambles, and black people, we need to have a political purge. We need to get back to everybody playing their roles. Stop being fake political, Facebook political junk. You ain't got no wins under your belt. You don't get to run nothing. And I'm not talking about social wins. I'm talking about, have you ever worked in a ward, a precinct? Give me a precinct you want. See, Todd, it's all these people out here right now just doing stuff. They piddling around for big money. But in the end, no outcomes. I'm just tired, Todd. Let me go to James. James, you want to talk Chicago, 1690. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go on a tirade today, but I was just looking at this math, and I'm saying to myself, we got to do better. For the money that was laid out, everybody should do. It's just crazy. I'm sorry, James. What's up, man? James, you want to talk Chicago? Did I lose you? All right, let me go to Brother Ball. Brother Ball, you want to talk Chicago, 1690.
What's going on? What's going on, Dan?
Talk to me, brother.
It's ironic, man. You know, it's funny. We always have these discussions, man. We hear these stories of white people running up in churches and just killing black people all the time. And the first thing you get these Christians on TV and they say, oh, we forgive them and the Lord this and the Lord that. And so we get somebody black in office that somewhat has the power to take care of one of her own and does it under a legal stance. We let the police get on TV and the mayor and sway us. If you took a tally, Maze, every call that you called and they called in and they were against Kim Fox, that number would be higher than the ones that would be with them. And what would they let you know? Just off of the facts that we know, what would they let you know about our own people? I don't think we're ready for politics in Chicago. Y'all have a good one, man.
Hey, you know what, Brother Ball? I'm going to tell you, I don't think we're ready for politics in Chicago. That's why we hiring people from Detroit. And unbelievable, man. I'm sorry to go here, but I'm just telling y'all, Chicago, we got to come back to our roots. We got to do what we know. We got to stop looking and trying to do the white example. Stop talking about that we ain't no monolith, because we need to be a monolith, and we need to stop letting the bourgeois elite who are inside making decisions for the rest of us that they can't even make, they can't defend themselves. All right, I'm through, y'all. I'm off my soapbox. So for Annette Flournoy in the newsroom, for my co-host Todd Stroger, for my pretend musical conductor today, not my pretend musical conductor, he is the co-pilot, it's my man Titus, hitting them lions, and my super producer Sonia Tompkins. I am the host of the WVON Morning Show. Y'all, I was a little bit ticked off this morning. I apologize if I went too far. No, I don't. No, I don't. This is Chicago. This is not Detroit. This is not LA. This is not Atlanta. We can do, it's time for black political empowerment. It's time for a political purge. Look, I'm out of here. I'm the host of the WVON Morning Show, and I already know they ain't gonna like it. So what? Because if you don't like it, you can still tell them. May said, we out of here. Peace.
The talk of Chicago and the voice of the nation. 1690 WVON, Berlin, Chicago.
I was having a minute. I'm gonna meet with Brandon Johnson this week.
About?
I don't know. Just a talk, I guess.
He asked you or you asked him?
So he asked me.
Good. He needs some help. Another one. They gonna wind. Oh my God. It's like you got all these people, and then here go the problem for Brandon Johnson. Yo, Chinaman is done. Right? So you took out Boykin. It's gonna be interesting, man. I can't wait. I'm gonna tell y'all. You're not from Chicago or Bolingbrook. I mean, it's like These people prancing around looking all... It's like everybody was important last night. I'm like, you so important. Could you know how you'll be really important? If you get some damn votes.
Right.
Like, that's where you get props. You get props at the parties where people who don't do politics are, because you got Kim Fox. When you at the place where people who do politics and you just stunting around, people be like, did you see your vote totals? Like you don't even, like, seriously, Ty. Got it? Take a moment, share the broadcast. Now y'all don't want no problems. Cause I will come see you. Y'all look, and I didn't get. Did I get to marijuana yet? No.
I know we touched on it for a second, but that might not have been on there.
I think we touched on it, but we didn't do it. I think I'll do the marijuana bill tomorrow. Have you seen it?
No, I'll pull it up.
Pull it up. It is
Who's
released.
the sponsor?
Huh?
Who's the sponsor?
I feel like Cassidy and whatchamajig. Cassidy and.
One name good, huh?
But the Toy is now is the lead negotiator for the Senate. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Peace.